Hello, I'm Dr. Ruth Neustifter from Amridge University, and I'm about to tell you how you too can earn higher grades and avoid plagiarism. The purpose of this lecture, well, I've got four. The first is to summarize where the Chicago Manual and APA style of formatting came from and why we even bother with them. Then I'm going to help make appropriate formatting make more sense by addressing when you use it and why. I'm going to assist you in getting the highest possible grade on your projects and papers with information and further resources on Chicago Manual and APA. And I'm looking to reduce the occurrences of unpleasant plagiarism consequences for students by making sure you're aware of how to avoid plagiarism. So first of all, what is formatting? Well, we have two different styles, the Chicago Manual and the APA style. Both of them are used at Amridge University. Most students will use the Chicago Manual, but some of you will use the APA style. If you're not sure what you should be using, ask your instructor or your dean. Both of these are clear formats which are concise, stylistically consistent, and they're used for academic publication quality writing. Both of them are used internationally. The Chicago Manual is the oldest of the two, at about 120 years old. It started when typesetters at the University of Chicago Press realized that they needed a consistent document standards. The APA style started about 80 years ago when social scientists needed rigorous and sound standards for sharing knowledge between scientists. Who and when are these things used? Well, scientific, academic, and publishable writers can be lots of different types of people. Students like you, instructors, professors, clinicians, researchers, trainers, presenters, authors, and anybody else interested in sharing knowledge in a sound, reputable, ethical, and useful way. And the uses are many. They can include class papers, outreach efforts, slideshows, presentations, journal articles, textbooks and contributed chapters, research reports, dissertations and theses, book reviews, web pages, graphs, charts, illustrations, performances, handouts, and just about anything else you can think of. There's a lot of ways to use both styles, so understandably the manuals for both are really big and they cover lots of rules and contingencies. Both of the styles cover information on everything from how to set up your page numbers to how to do your references and citations. But for this slideshow, I'm going to be focusing on how you can earn higher grades by avoiding plagiarism, by recognizing when and how to use both styles for your references and your citations. Both formatting styles are useful for readers, and they're useful for learners in a lot of different ways. They allow us to distinguish established information from an author's opinion. They give us the information to independently check the details behind the information. They encourage critical reading so we can insist on sound information and question dubious efforts. And they let us appreciate the scientists and other authors whose hard work contributed to our learning. These formats are essential for writers. Face it, at this point in our academic careers, because I said so doesn't work in scientific writing unless you did the original solid research that was open to public critique. We have to always say who said so in order to separate science from rumor. Every single fact must be verified to support the hypothesis, which is the plot or agenda of your writing. If you're summarizing someone else's information, if you're rephrasing it or changing a little bit, or using it to support your writing, you have to say where that information came from originally. We do this by briefly citing a summary of the authorship information every fact. That's called a citation. Then we add full authorship information and an entry in the reference section at the end of the paper. So the citation is the little one in the text, and the reference is the long one at the end. You can't have one without the other. If we do not cite and reference every single fact, we face some big risks. We might end up looking like a quack that spouts unfounded opinions under the guise of scholarly work. And we put ourselves at risk for accusations of plagiarism for presenting the work of others as our own. Unless your reader is told otherwise, they should assume that you created all of the words you write and all of the facts and information behind them. You must cite and add references to show readers otherwise, and to let them critique the quality of your foundational facts. So let's apply this to how I grade you. I'm an instructor at Amridge University, so I grade a lot of students' papers and projects. When you submit an assignment, I'm just like that typical reader I just told you about. I expect that every phrase and fact came from you unless you tell me otherwise. We academics and scientists aren't allowed to come up with our own facts unless we did the research to support them. I will find your project flimsy if I don't see lots of citations, and I'll suspect you either aren't giving credit to the original authors or you're repeating common knowledge that you didn't bother to verify first. That means you're going to lose a lot of points, and you might be plagiarizing, which carries heavy consequences here at Amridge University. If you use someone else's ideas without crediting them, you're writing in an unethical manner. You're allowing others to give you credit for the idea, and that means that you're stealing it. This may be considered plagiarism, and it's always offensively poor writing. On top of that, anytime you use the exact same words as someone else, you have to use quotation marks around the words, or black quote formatting if you're an APA, and include a citation with a page number. Otherwise, you're presenting their words as yours, and that is plagiarism. It does not matter whether you intended to plagiarize. See the big red text? That means this is really important, so I'm going to say it again. It does not matter whether you intended to plagiarize or not. It doesn't matter if you think of yourself as someone who would never cheat on your homework or tests. That's because you are responsible for being mindful and actively avoiding all forms of unethical writing, including plagiarism. Plagiarism has heavy consequences at the class and university level as a student, but the consequences can be even worse outside the university. These can include reputational and even legal problems. So it's important that we cover our rear by using a good formatting style. Careful use of the Chicago Manual or APA style shows your sincere effort to create sound and ethical scholarly work as a budding or experienced author or researcher. Even if you misplace a period or you flub the italics a little bit, we will know that you were making the necessary effort, and that is important. If your facts are later found out to be wrong, you'll still be okay. Because you told us where they come from, we'll be able to know that you were working with the best information available to you at the time. So when you're using these formatting styles and you're just beginning, you might have to kind of fake it till you make it. Until you have the basics of good formatting memorized, if you ever do, you can simply reproduce the style of accurate examples that fit your situation. You always need to use references and citations for direct quotes, summarized or rephrased ideas, images, illustrations, and other types of graphics. Remember, remember, remember. Just because it's online, you found it in a search engine or wherever, or it's in a handout, does not make it okay for you to copy or use the ideas without giving credit to the original authors. When in doubt, consult your instructor, the library, or any quality resources on the topic. When you're adding a citation, well, first, let me tell you what a citation is. A citation is that little bit of authorship information that comes in the middle of the text, right after the fact, the quote, or the original information that you're using to support what you're saying. When you're using a citation, be sure to include the page number if it's a direct quote. Be mindful of the placement of commas and periods, both inside the citation and in the placement of the citation within the text. Include an entry in the reference list the first time every item is cited. And remember to cite your graphics, charts, photos, tables, etc., and their data. The reference is the entry at the end. That's the full authorship information. When you're adding a reference, be sure to check that there is at least one matching citation in the text. Be mindful of the placement of commas, italics, capital letters, indentations, and periods. Follow the rules for your information source, whether it's a book, an article, a chapter, something electronic from online, a movie, a TV show, a presentation, whatever, because they all differ slightly in their formatting. Consult with your formatting manual if you can't find the necessary information elsewhere. And where exactly are these manuals and these other sources of information? Well, I've got some good news for you. The information's right here. The official website for the Chicago Style Manual, and we're on the 15th edition now, is right there in that link. There's also the OWL Guide at the Purdue University. They offer a guide to the Chicago Manual formatting style, and you can find that link right there. Plus, you can always ask your instructors too. We're proud of you, and we want to help you learn how to produce your best work in the most ethical way. What if you're using APA? Well, there's the main website for APA style. There's also an OWL Guide at Purdue for that, and you can find the link here too. And we're still proud of you, even if you're using APA. And we want to help you to learn how to produce your best work using APA formatting as well. Chicago Manual and APA style, they're your key to avoiding plagiarism problems and helping to get the highest possible grade. Remember that every professor and editor might have their own tweaks and additional policies, so just check in and make sure. Remember, we expect you to be part of our proud tradition of academic integrity here at Amridge University, and we're here to help you join us in fulfilling that mission.